Look at this computer. Okay, good. So uh, I I'm interviewing Dr. Cherae Farmer-Dixon, who's the dean of the School of Dentistry at Meharry. Could I ask you, Doc, how many years now have you been dean?
This is going on my 8th year.
8th year, and this is wonderful. I mean, you're young dean and doing it. And I was reading some of your bio this morning. I'm very impressed where you come, where all of us come from to get to these HBCUs and the things that we're doing. And the thing that shocked me was that you guys have such a program there, and you're trying to draw these young Black men. Well, you're drawing young Black, but it seems as though you have the Black female is coming, but you're not getting the young Black male applicants. And that is really, is baffling. And I said, well, I'm sitting back. Meharry provided me, and dentistry provided me with so much. It was like a blank check. You could write your own ticket here. So I'm trying to see what's holding us back. And I'm going to let you just speak on what ratio of applicants are you getting now? Young Black men, are you getting any male Black applicants?
Well, we are getting a small number. And the one thing that I want to say is that when we talk about African-American applicants, period, you'll hear over the years that there's been an increase in the number of applicants in total that are applying to dental schools, and that is true. But unfortunately, when we talk about our African-American population, we have not been able to hit the 1,000 mark or the 2,000 mark in 20 years in terms of the total number of African-Americans that are applying to dental school. So now, then when you weed down to out of that, let's just say on a high end, 1,500, and we've got 68 dental schools in the country. And in totality, there are about 14,000 applicants that are applying to dental schools. And that is a small fraction of African-Americans that are applying. Then when you take off, what are the, how many of these meet the minimum prerequisites of, even if we said at a 3.0 GPA, or even a minimum of a 17 DAT score, then that takes off another group of individuals. So for us, we're seeing on an average, I think this year, and it was slightly down this year, but we're seeing over 3,000 applicants that are applying for 62 slots. And then when, that's those individuals who will actually come to submit the initial application. Now, those that will actually complete, about half of those will complete the application cycle. And the challenge that we are having is having qualified minority male, African-American males that are applying. But I think that we have to go back to how many of them are actually going to college? And then let's back up. How many of them that are finishing high school? So it's a domino effect. So when we're talking about encouraging our young people, that encouragement has to start at the elementary level. And it's a long journey, but this is a long journey. And it's a lifelong journey. And so if we're going to really be committed, then we have to make the commitment, or there's power in numbers, have a group of people, a team of organizations. Those can be social organizations, those can be churches. I don't know how many sororities and fraternities and social organizations have mentoring programs for middle school and high school students. A lot of colleges will have programs for children. A lot of churches will have health careers days. So let's magnify and unify those groups so that we're all working in the same direction of encouraging these young people from the early age. And it's a continual and intentional process. Through elementary school, a young person can say, I was introduced to this in my church, or at the Boys and Girls Club, when I went there for after school care when I was in elementary school. And then they're connected with another group in middle school. and another group in high school. And that encourages them to go to college. And then, you know,
Having
continue.
that path to see it early
Exactly.
on and someone to mentor them along the way. And I was so encouraged. I just got back from North Carolina and I have a 15-year-old and I have some nieces and nephews. And my sister, who is a chemist, also attended North Carolina Central University. She's now also teaching middle school in Durham, North Carolina, and it's just minorities. And she's doing a lot of mentoring. She mentored me to go to dental school, and now she's mentoring these young Black, and especially males, but male and female too, starting in middle school. And that's what Dr. Moses talked about a lot to me every time I come. I know he's still preaching the same thing. You got to start them when they're young. And like you said, somebody got to put them on a path. And the reason I love the article, well, it wasn't an article, I received this thing that my sister, who's the dentist, also Dr. Ida Lanier in Atlanta, she had forwarded to the family this thing about the program that you guys have with Tennessee State, and it's a 7-year program, and you get a doctorate degree. And I was like, amazing. But like you said, you need that 3.5 and that, what is it, the 28 ACT or the SAT is equivalent to about what, 12 something, 1250 or something.
So, So
the ACT is preferred though over the SAT now. Is that the thing they?
Yes, a lot of schools will take the ACT, but you know, I know that there's some schools that push and promote when they're in high school taking the SAT, and so colleges will accept that as well.
And you know, the thing I'm shocked by though is the opportunity that is not seen, and I'm wondering, because like I said, dentistry provided me to be able to donate back to Meharry $1 million. It was no way in the world I even saw that I would ever make this kind of money and live the life that I lived, that dentistry has afforded me. And I came through HBCU, North Carolina Central, and I see your path, and a lot of us wind up at Meharry, and it's like the open arms of the mom welcome you in, but you do need the creme de la creme. You need, I wasn't the creme de la creme coming along, but the light bulb finally flipped. And I think now the light bulb has to flip early, and somebody has to be there in the community to show them the opportunities, and then to mentor them and to help get them in a path. Because with this thing that you guys have, they no longer have, once they are on track, they don't have to do a lot of thinking because all of the distractions have been moved. You're on a path at that point. You're going to pretty much say you're a doctor. You just fall in line and ride the assembly line to become a doctor. It's amazing.
Yes.
How do we do it, Doc? How do we get the people out there, and anybody listening to us, I'm asking you, get your 12-year-old, even go younger, but try to get them on track to become a doctor, because I tell you, we need them. I'm building out some offices now, and I'm trying to recruit doctors in the underserved areas. It is hard to get people to come back to our community, and most of the time, the people who are coming back to our community aren't even from the community. And not to say that they're not going to be the same caring, but I kind of appreciate when I have a Black doctor, you know?
Yes. Well, you know, I think that it's a thing of we have, as you said, getting the word out. But interestingly enough, we had virtual commencement and we had in-person for the graduates only. But as I was passing by one of the icons that are the marquees that are on campus, it's a brick marquee that has Meharry Medical College and medicine, dentistry, graduate studies and research. But there was a gentleman there and he had his young son who had to be about 8 or 9. And he was taking a picture of him standing there. And the little boy was saying, I'm going to be a doctor. But to actually be able to start at that early age of just seeing that. And not everybody is in a place where they can go to a Meharry or go by Howard or Morehouse or some of the HBCUs. But you and I both know there is a healthcare professional, and I don't know of any healthcare professionals who would not welcome the opportunity to mentor a child or to take time to talk to them about their career, what they do, the road that they took. So if there are any parents or family members, you have a child, just as like we take them to the movies, we take them to the mall, take them to see a healthcare professional so that they can begin to think about that. They watch football and they watch basketball and they begin to think about the possibility. So let's do that same thing so that, a lot of times we associate medicine and dentistry with pain, but that's not the only avenue that's associated with that. And so I encourage families and organizations to create those opportunities so that they can see the reflection of themselves in individuals in their communities.
That is so true. And you said something there, Doc. I have a friend who's a physician and a little bit younger than me, but I watched him. We attend the same Bible class. And he said, I knew I was a doctor from the time I was 8 years old. And he had watched the doctor who's also a Meharry and that taught our Bible class. And he watched him and he said, I want to be just like him. He said from the age of 8, the only thing he had to do was wait to get his white coat, and if we can start kids off at that level and they say, no, I'm going to become a doctor or a dentist, and they start at this age, and then they just matriculate through and they just maintain those grades and they're taking the right courses. The curriculum is already laid out. And then, and I'm telling you, it's much respect. It's the ability to print your own money and just do the things and help everybody. And coming back to our community, it is just wonderful. I'm glad that I'm able to, well, I'm not saying yet that I'm able, but I'd love to get 20 to apply to your program. I think that there are 20 with that 3.5 somewhere in the United States. Somewhere,
I believe it is too.
All over, and we could go north, south, east, west, but I want to put the word out there. Now, let me just show, if I can, what I came across, and you can kind of clarify it. Okay, let me see. Share. Okay. And I never met this brother, Dr. Maurice Scholas, a Meharry, huh? And he said, Black males needed for Meharry Medical College. I'm sharing this message from Dr. Glenda Glover, president of Tennessee State University, and her community affairs liaison, Barbara Murrell. There's a program between TSU and Meharry College, Medical College, where a student goes to TSU for 3 years and on to Meharry become an MD or DDS in 7 years instead of 8. But they need to have that 28 ACT and the 3.5 GPA, and they get a free ride for them at TSU University, get a free ride and on to Meharry. And I'm quite sure there's something that'll take care of them there. They just need to get there, right?
Yes. So let me say this. We have had a long-standing relationship with Tennessee State University, with Fisk University there in our backyard. And so this is what we've called our 3+4 program. And that program it's been around. There was a person in my class that came from Tennessee State and skipped their senior year, and even before me. But of course, as time changes and people change things. So this was an opportunity for us to revitalize our relationship, restructure the program, look at the curriculum at Tennessee State as well as at Meharry, and see how we create opportunities, because during that 3 years that they're at Tennessee State, we don't want it to just be, you go there for 3 years and then boom, you jump into Meharry. We want that to be a partnership so that when they start at Tennessee State, they will have relationships, they'll do shadowing, they'll be involved with students from Meharry, so that throughout their 3-year matriculation, they're also being prepared and being groomed for a smooth transition to Meharry to begin the medical or the dental program. Because we know that when we talk about academics, being a strong student academically is only one part of it, but we want you to be, we pride ourselves, and I'm sure you would agree on saying, we create the whole person. We create a person that is engaged in the community and understands the community, that's compassionate about giving back, that believes in lifelong learning. And so you're constantly improving your craft and improving your skills and your knowledge, and that you are engaged in the community. You're a community leader, so you're involved in organized dentistry and other organizations that will have an impact on the community. So we have those types of activities that are also incorporated throughout the curriculum. And so that it can be, you know, again, a smooth transition for when they come.
Right.
Now, and some people have said when they've seen that, well, are y'all just forgetting about women? Absolutely not. We can, because we're saying this because we are having a challenge getting young men.
Right.
We're not having that same challenge getting young women. But as I started off, I was strategic in stating we want mentoring, and that mentoring can be men and women, young girls and young boys being mentored to go into medicine and dentistry and even into research as well. So, but our shortage, and it's not just a Meharry shortage, it is a national shortage of African-American males that are interested in and are entering the healthcare profession. And if we back up, as I stated earlier, we'll see that same shortage. We can't get them to medical or dental school or pharmacy school or nursing school or any of those healthcare or law school, any of those graduate professions if they're not going to college. And so we see a decline in the significant decline in the numbers that are going to college.
Wow. Wow. You know, I kind of being out into the entrepreneurial side of it, I had not paid attention. And now that I'm retired and looking and some of the things that are going on in the communities now and the Black Lives Matter and the movement forward, I see this as such an integral part, because if we're going to move forward, education, and especially in healthcare in our own communities, we have to put them out there. We have to put them forward if it's going to be reflected when we go to see our doctors and our healthcare and research. There's just so many opportunities here. I'm hoping whomever's watching will see, and if you need to contact me, you can just LinkedIn. I'm sure, Doc, if you
I'm on LinkedIn as well.
You, how should they reach out if they have some kids and they think they're interested in a program like this? What do you have that, or a link, or what would you advise?
I am on LinkedIn, Cherae Farmer-Dixon. I'm on LinkedIn, but also they can contact me at Meharry at SOD, Dean's Office at mmc.edu, or me directly at cdixon, Dixon, at mmc.edu.
This is so great. Let me show you one more thing before I let you go here. Doc. I'm trying to, now I can't pull it up because I'm not that savvy. Let me leave that alone. I was going to show you something that I was developing, and the reason being is that I'm trying to recruit doctors, and it's to some underserved areas all across, and it's been, of course, I've been practicing now almost 40 years and building offices and hiring doctors. I've had as many, I guess I've hired about 40 doctors over the years, but just as you said, most of the time, the Black doctors represent even a smaller percentage than we do in the general population. So it's something that it's kind of perplexed me, because it's just such opportunity. I can't see why other people don't see it. But if you're out there, if you have a child that is interested and can handle these sciences, just push them, get them in the right track, get them to the people, hook up on LinkedIn, Dr. Farmer-Dixon or myself on LinkedIn. I'll hook you up with my sister who's mentoring middle school, and I'm quite sure we can find other people that are willing to mentor, as Doctor is saying, and help get your child on that right track so that they will soon be able to, if it's not, you know what I would recommend? Once they get started, print their name and say young doctor. So it's like the developmental league. We have the developmental league, and we're getting them right. So I just want to get them on this path But right now we need about 20 to apply to this program. They already need to have this 3.5. Those are the ones that we need to identify and get them to apply to this program. And then the other ones will start younger.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good. This is so wonderful, Doc. I look forward to seeing.
Well, thank you.
So thankful. No, thank you for doing this, because this is part, I think, of my journey. And I just, with Dr. Moses, he made me feel so guilty for not having reached. He always, every time he talks, he always say, "Reach back, go back and get them while they're young." So this is kind of closing that circle. Let's make it happen. Thank you so much.
We're going to make it happen. Thank you.
Right.
And thank you for all of your efforts.
Thank you so much. You have a good one, Doc. All right.
You too. Bye-bye.